So, let's talk about the X-Men anime. Yeah, so, funny story, real quick. I've actually owned this anime DVD collection for years. I've actually owned it since 2000, I want to say 12. But I've never really... I watched a few episodes and then I stopped because I was just like, I'll watch it later. I'll watch it later. And after finally watching X-Men Apocalypse, I was like, you know what? I want to get into more X-Men stuff. And what's this? I have the X-Men anime? What? In fact, I don't even know where the fuck I got it. I can't remember. I honestly can't remember where I got this DVD. I cannot remember where I bought this. It could have been like at a store, at a garage sale. I can't fucking remember. I really can't. All I remember is it's been part of my collection for a long time and I've just let it been collecting dust. So, finally, yeah, it's finally a part of it. I'm finally watching it and I'm finally reviewing it. Now, you're probably wondering, well, what about Wolverine, Iron Man, and Blade animes? Are you going to review those? Yeah, if I ever watch them, then I'll review them. But for now, let's just focus on the X-Men anime. But however, real quick, depending on, what from what I'm told, the Wolverine and Iron Man animes are pretty terrible. The only two good ones are apparently the X-Men anime and the Blade anime, which is supposed to be like the Blade anime is supposed to be like the best of them all. But anyway, I digress. So, let's talk about X-Men the anime. Now, this story follows its own continuity following the death of Jean Grey at the hands of the Inner Circle, which is the Hellfire Club, which, by the way, here's the big thing I don't get about this. From the multitude of X-Men villains we could have used in many different, characters, they mention Magneto a lot, you see him escape, you see the remnants of his prison in a post-credit scene in the final episode. And in the story, you follow, for villains, we have, get this, the U-Men and Mastermind and Proteus. Well, kind of Proteus. Or is it supposed to be Legion? I don't know. I guess it's supposed to be a combination of Legion and Proteus. And I'll get to that in a minute, but yeah. So, yeah, rather than focus on, Mr. Sinister, or Strife, or Juggernaut, and they even show you in the post-credit scene, all these other characters you'd rather be watching. The thing is, with the U-Men, they're boring. They're just like, oh, if you ever read the Grant Morrison run, let me back up. If you've ever read the Grant Morrison run, then the U-Men, if you know who the U-Men are, the U-Men are actually like these, it's really hard because it's Grant Morrison, it's really hard to explain Grant Morrison stuff. They're like the best way I could describe them is that they were selling mutant organs and their leader was John Sublime. However, Sublime turned out to be a mutated sentient bacteria. In here, he's just a renegade science cyborg. Yeah, that's the whole deal. That is the whole deal right there, all of it. And then we have the Inner Circle, which is led by Mastermind, who actually Travis Willingham, who does the English dub for Mastermind, he's actually pretty good. I rather enjoyed him. But yeah, I was just kind of thinking, yeah, this is cool and all, and also you give us all these like Rat, Marsh, and Neron, who I look back, I was like, are they supposed to be anime versions of, like, Riptide and other members of, like, the Brotherhood or something like that? No, they're just weird-ass characters that they were just thought up for the anime for anime's sake. That's literally what they are. They are not, they're their own mutants, really. And, yeah, they just look like something out of Studio Madhouse. Which, by the way, Studio Madhouse, of course they've got good animation, but I will say that in the anime, the animation's really good. It's Studio Madhouse, what can you expect? But there are some moments in here, especially towards the end, where the animation, just especially in the face, feels a little off. Just in some places here and there, and it especially shows towards the end, because I feel like they were running low on the budget. But anyway, I've talked about all that. Let's talk about the other moments. So yeah, this takes place in its own continuity, and following the death of Jean Grey, Xavier has discovered that, a young mutant girl has gone missing, and all of northern Japan has been blocked out. It's been, all of his power, and with Cerebro, he can't detect anything in northern Japan. It's like a dead space, and mutants are going missing. So he reunites the X-Men, who in this continuity the main team consists of Cyclops, Wolverine, Storm, Beast, and, yeah, Beast, that's about it. There was Jean Grey, but she died. Yeah, go figure. Jean Grey died? What? Yeah, Jean Grey dying. I know, it's a weird experience. Also, yeah, she became Dark Phoenix. Yeah, you do get to see other mutants in here, though. You do get to see quick glimpses of Archangel and Colossus and Rogue, as well as Nightcrawler and Deadpool, and Captain Britain. But yeah, you only see them towards the end, where they're trying to save the world from not Proteus. Yeah. So the story continues, and the first half of it deals with the X-Men trying to fight the U-Men. And the action's pretty good, the voice work is pretty well, but there are some moments where I'm, like, kind of face-palming myself, like, having a face-palm moment, especially towards the end, where, you know, when they discover, when, we find out more about the, we learn more about the mutants. And also, you know, we also get the inclusion of Emma Frost and Armor. In this continuity, Emma has been, you know, she was part of the Inner Circle, which I like to call the not Brotherhood of Evil. The Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, excuse me, yeah, it's the not Brotherhood of Mutants, because, yeah, it's, Mastermind in here is just literally the not Magneto in this story. He's just like, the Inner Circle is supposed to promote life for all mutant kind. And I'm like, did they just not want to use Magneto for Magneto's sake? I don't know. It's also kind of weird because Warren Ellis wrote this story, apparently had a huge say in this. I don't know how much he wrote, but they look to Warren Ellis of all people. Now look, I like Warren Ellis as a writer. He's one of my favorite writers. But he's not a person I would go to for X-Men. I remember his Astonishing X-Men. It was not some of his best work. Yeah, he's written a lot of really great stuff, Authority and all that, but I just did not care for his X-Men. I really did not care for his Astonishing X-Men run. Like, it was just kind of it was just kind of, like, way too out there. Not out there, but I mean, like, how do I explain this? It just wasn't good. That's the best way I could describe it. It was just, I feel like he was trying to prove that the X-Men, even though they're supposed to be a tight-knit family, they just can't get along because they're all assholes. Yeah. There was just some points where he's like, are you just trying to write the Authority but with X-Men? I don't know what you're doing here, Warren. So yeah, you could have gone to anybody else, but why did you go to Warren Ellis for... Oh yeah, Jeff Loeb was in charge of this project. That makes perfect fucking sense. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I know I sound like I hate this, but I really don't. I think it's good, but there are some moments where the X-Men are just kind of dumb, especially when, you know, Cyclops in this story blames Emma because he saw Emma real quick before Jean's death, and he thought that, oh, he put she must have put a thought in her mind to tell her to kill herself, you know. That's why I'm gonna hate you now. And then someone explains early on, that must have been Mastermind who put an image in your head to make you think you saw Emma. And later on, it's like, yeah, I did that. I was like, why was that such a big problem? We already figured it out. Why are we retreading this? If we already know that it was probably Mastermind who did it, then why are we making this such a big shock? Also, when we discover that this woman, Yue Sasaki, who is not Moria McTaggart of this story, her son Takeo, and she's the one that was really behind all this. She's the one who hired the U-Men, and she was trying to create a mutant cure, a cure for the mutants. Yeah, it is taking elements of the first story arc in Astonishing X-Men. And in the story, as we follow along with this story, I was kind of like, when she was telling this whole story, you know, when Mastermind goes to corrupt her son, and the X-Men are like, why are you hiding this mutant? And then it was like, it's her son, you idiot, you can't figure this out? Also, there are some just really, I don't know, it's just that moment and several others that made me go, you guys are kind of dumb. Like, is the plot telling you to be this stupid? I don't know. But I did like it. The voice work is really good. Steve Blum comes back as, Wolverine. It's always cool to see him play Wolverine. Fred Tatasciore as Beast I thought was great. I thought Fred Tatasciore was awesome as Beast. I think, as most of you guys don't know, Beast is my favorite X-Man, so I thought he did an excellent job. And it's actually, like, I think I like Fred Tatasciore's Beast more than the original 90s cartoon Beast. Like, for some reason, it just kind of, like, Fred Tatasciore's Beast feels, it just feels right for that character. Not to say the 90s cartoon X-Men Beast was bad, but for some reason, like, I just kind of like how he makes it feel like an intelligent animal, which kind of what Beast is. He's a scientist trapped in an animal's body due to his mutation. 90s X-Men, not to discredit 90s cartoon X-Men voice actor for Beast, he's awesome. I just feel like for some reason, whenever I'm reading a comic now, I just imagine Fred Tatascinko's voice. I don't know, I just kind of like it more. I don't know why. But yeah, let's face it. Nothing can compare to Carl Dodd as Wolverine. Sorry, Steve Blum, I love you as Wolverine, but you cannot compare to Carl Dodd. Anyway, this is also a pretty good story for Cyclops, even though they make it feel like this is supposed to be Cyclops' story, and then they just completely forget about it towards the end. There are some really good moments in here, and all the English dub cast, they really did a good job. Again, Travis Willingham as Mastermind, I thought he was like, man, you are awesome in here. You are really making this cold, kind of psychotic villain in this story. Ali E. Haley, I think, Ali Laurie, I can't pronounce that, I don't remember her last name, as Emma Frost, I think she was perfect. The voice actress for Hisako, Armor, was really good. All of the voice work was, really good. Cam Clark, who, I know that voice, but I can't remember where I've heard it before. I cannot remember where I've heard Cam Clark's voice. If anyone knows the other characters he's played, please comment below and tell me the other ones. But yeah, Cam Clark is Professor Xavier. He was great. Yeah, the action here is pretty good. I think the story could have been, I feel like, yeah, it did pan out pretty well. I feel like the story didn't have any pacing problems, which from what I understand, Wolverine has a pacing problem issue. But in here, it felt like a good story arc. Like, again, the first 6 episodes dealt with the U-Men, and then it went to the whole Inner Circle story in the next few episodes. And the last 2 parts is them dealing with not Proteus. Because it's Proteus. They just call him differently. Or I guess he's a combination now that I think of it. He's more like a combination of Legion and Proteus, really. Anyway. All in all, this is a pretty good series. There are just some really, head-scratching moments where I was like, yeah, I already figured this out. Why can't you? Like, they're just a little, the X-Men are really slow on the uptake at some points. But yeah, the story's pretty good. I really enjoyed the action. The voice work was fantastic. Animation, you can't go wrong with Studio Madhouse. I just feel like I just wish the story was a little more tighter, as well as, the X-Men didn't play dumb at some points. Yeah. Also, I was kind of hoping for more X-Men. I don't mind the team. I don't mind that this team consisted of it was 6 X-Men, and all it was missing was Shadowcat and Colossus. Because it was pretty much aside from Storm and Armor, you could have switched them out, and you would have had the Joss Whedon team of just adding Kitty and Colossus in there. But yeah, you could have honestly, this felt like an astonishing X-Men story, which I feel like this was, now that I think about it, I feel like this was a little bit like the X-Men comic, Warren Ellis' story, Ghost Boxes. Now that it kind of has that feel to it. Anyway, I feel like there was something else I wanted to say about this. Oh yeah, Jennifer Hale as Jean Grey. She was pretty good. She was excellent too, even though her main thing is to be Obi-Wan Kenobi and just show up as like a ghost in most of the points and then give you exposition on next time on X-Men the Anime. That's kind of her whole thing. She shows up at the beginning, then she dies. Yeah. But all in all, it's not I would recommend this if you're an X-Men fan, especially if you enjoy, seeing, it's cool to see Cyclops do stuff. And what I love about this is that it doesn't just focus on one mutant to make him look like, yeah, look at Wolverine go, or look at Beast go, or something like that. It's a team story, and it treats it like a whole team. In fact, it treats it like a family, the X-Men like a family, which is always what's best about them. So that's kind of the big thing with this story, is that it doesn't really show, like in most X-Men stories it's like, yeah, look at Wolverine go, or yeah, look at that character go. It's more like, yeah, they all collectively save the world, yay. Although at the end it was kind of Xavier, but still. Anyway, so yeah, you guys tell me, if you guys have seen the X-Men anime, you guys comment below and let me know. What did you guys think of it? Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? Just tell me in the comments below. And once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.